Welcome to another episode. It is Tuesday night. The college football rankings just got released. If you're into college football, of course, so much going on in the sports world. Offseason baseball, NBA kicking in full gear. The Rams being demolished by the 49ers and Odell Beckham. We'll talk about that with the Rams. But nonetheless, Kenny, the sports guy, has back. He's back. Kenny, you're back, my man.
I know, I'm back and better than ever.
And of course, all you guys that's out there listening, my video is a little messed up. So if you're gonna watch it eventually on YouTube, I apologize in advance, and I promise you one thing: 2022 technology will be a lot better for me on my end. So don't be too alarming right now. But as I was mentioning to Kenny, I can't go too much into details unless the news break while we're recording this podcast. But so much going on behind the scenes, so to speak. And if anything breaks during that in regards to what is going on behind the scenes, I will definitely let you guys know. But Kenny, more importantly, how are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. I'm just keeping busy, working on my podcast. I released another episode yesterday revolving around the Major League Baseball award season.
Mhm.
So far, I'm actually I've been right so far. I mean, Kevin Cash won Manager of the Year. I had him winning. Gay Captain won National League Manager of the Year. I have him winning. The Rookie of the Year I had Rosarena winning. He won.
Mhm.
And Jonathan India for the Reds won for National League Rookie of the Year, and he won. So I'm batting 1,000 so far in that.
Well, definitely, I listened to it, excellent stuff, and if you guys don't listen to him, Kenny the sports guy, I know we'll get that info here shortly, and at the end of the show, before the end of the recording, of course, I'll make sure Kenny gets that as well. Excellent stuff, and Kenny, have you? I don't want to give no leaks out, but the person that was on the air raid attack last week, any luck on this particular person yet?
No, not yet.
Hopefully
I
so.
guess I guess that particular person is very, very busy, so it's okay though.
Well, hopefully, if this person's able to, that'd be pretty cool. I personally, I know you'll enjoy it. So,
Yeah, definitely, man. I hope that person responds back.
and trust me, guys, it's not a she. Okay,
I may or may have slipped
it
that
could
out.
be.
So
Yeah, no, it could be anybody. So, no. First things first. Speaking of the New York Yankees, because doesn't give you guys another hint. Anyway, no jokes aside. Speaking of the New York Yankees, man, Kenny, they're in the talks a lot this week. Freddie Freeman's reps were talked with. Carlos Carrera, I saw your video, which I totally agree with that. And
Mhm.
your take, we'll talk about that. I don't see him in New York, and now we're getting, I know the Major League Baseball app sent the notification out earlier. Matt Olson, the Yankees are interested in trading for him. Who would you? Obviously, they're all great players. I'm not going to choose, one or the other. But what would it take, in your opinion, to get Matt Olson to the Bronx?
They will have to give up a whole bunch of talented prospects in the farm system. I mean, there's a lot of them in the farm system, but maybe one name that the A's might want is everyone's favorite catcher, Gary Sanchez.
Mhm.
A lot of these Yankee fans, they really want him out because apparently he can't throw, he can't field, he can't catch. And I think with him, he's going to be like a little bit of a trade bait because a lot of Yankee fans want him out. We don't really need a first baseman, to be honest, because we have Anthony Rizzo. And I feel like Anthony Rizzo will be much more productive than Matt Olson because Olson strikes out a lot.
Mhm.
He strikes out like more times than Joey Gallo. And, Joey Gallo strikes out a lot also. But I just feel like if I was a Brian Cashman, I would re-sign Rizzo.
Oh, I think that'd be my first move. He played phenomenal. Well, he's a phenomenal player. First of all, he played even better, I think, when the trade from the Cubs over to the Bronx, of course, the Yankees, and he helped out the Yankees and with all those wins last year. down the stretch, and I think
he was the best player for the Yankees down the
absolutely
stretch.
by far, yeah. And say what you want. I mean, if you look at the Yankees, I think Brett Gardner. I don't know what you do with him. I know he's on a 1-year deal from last year, so it's obviously 1 year now moving forward. I don't know at 30, what is 33, 34?
He's 34.
34. I don't know if you continue. I mean, obviously he's a vet, but maybe it's time to let the longest tenured Yankee left that's on this roster go. But
yeah, I agree. I mean, I think they're gonna resign him though because he's gonna provide some sort of stability in the the what do you call it, the dugout. And I think I don't think they should sign him, but the Yankees will eventually sign him because I don't think no team wants him. Maybe the Mets. I mean, who knows?
I could see the Mets, and of course, talking with the Mets, Carlos Correa.
Really?
I've seen him playing Oklahoma City. Well, not with Oklahoma City, but our AAA team against, of course, Round Rock at the time. But excellent shortstop. He's not a Derek Jeter. You won't see another Derek Jeter as long as I live. Who knows beyond that? But why did Carlos have to say that?
Because he's an idiot. That's why. He's how should I say this? He's actually misinformed about the situation.
Yeah.
I believe that he disrespected Derek Jeter, and I think there's a reason for that. I think he's not going to sign with the Yankees because a bit what he said about Jeter and him coming to the Bronx, like despite what happened in Houston with the whole trash can scandal, I really don't think it's going to work out. Honestly, I mean there are talks that he's going to go to Detroit. Like that's like massive talks behind all that. I don't know why he's going to go to Detroit. Detroit is not really a winning team right now because they're in the middle of a rebuild. But as for me, I could see him, going to the Mets.
The Mets are
Sorry.
No, you're good. The Mets are interesting just because simply a lot of people last year prior to the 21 season, me included, when I was on a guest on Time to BS podcast with Dan and John, I think maybe Kyle was there. I don't remember, but anyway, doesn't really matter. But the Mets were, in my opinion, were one of the favorites to go pretty far, win the division in the NL East, maybe make it to the World Series. Some have it winning.
They were in first place for 100 days.
Yep.
And they finished with a losing record. First time that happened in Major League Baseball history.
And the Mets are going to send money. Of course, Noah Syndergaard goes to the Angels. Yeah, well, that was interesting. What's your take on that? I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think the Mets are just run by a bunch of imbeciles, basically. Honestly, I don't know what is going on with them. Why would they get rid of Noah Syndergaard? Like they didn't even offer him a contract. Syndergaard is actually still young. He's 29. I mean, yes, he had like Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago, which I believe he did, right? He had Tommy John surgery, right?
Correct.
And they just basically just gave up on him. I have no idea what they were thinking there. Maybe he resigns with the Mets next offseason. Maybe it's just like a trial period for the Mets and Syndergaard. I mean, it's going to be very interesting on how the pitching rotation in Queens is going to be.
It's going to be interesting, I think, Perry and Queens, especially their pitching. I don't know what cap space they got. Carrera, I think, could be interesting move. Who Marcus Stroma, I know he's with the Blue Jays, of course. Of course, I guess he took offense. The Yankees supposedly made a Photoshop of him, or somebody made a Photoshop of him with the Yankee jersey. He made it clear he's not playing for the Yankees. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's not gonna play.
No.
I think he might go back to Toronto. I mean, who knows?
Could you see him in the Mets though? Keeping with the Mets, or not so much with Stroman?
I can see him re-signing with the Mets, but it's not going to be for long term. Maybe for 1 to 2 years. But I think the perfect landing spot for him to go back to Toronto.
I liked him in Toronto. I thought that would fit well with him.
They just signed Barrios to like a long-term extension earlier this morning.
Absolutely. And here I'm trying to think here. What do you think that the Yankees? What is one area? Because we always talk about pitching and pitching and pitching and pitching. Do the Yankees continue to make pitching obviously their biggest target area, or is it about time we need to go start getting some hitters, preferably in the infield?
That's actually a really good question. Actually, I think the hitting is fine. I mean, Torres just had a bad year. Our first base problem has been solved for Anthony Rizzo. I wish that I think he's gonna resign with the Yankees. Catch behind the catcher's position, that's gonna be a problem because Sanchez, he has a good year 1 year, and then the next year he could just completely regresses. Who else? LeMahieu, he's gonna be fine. He just had a down year as well. Judge, he's gonna have another good year next year.
And what I like about Judge is he wants to remain a Yankee. I like that.
Yeah, he's gonna be a Yankee lifer. I'd be shocked if he signs somewhere else. I mean, as for Stanton needs to cut down the strikeouts. He strikes out way too much, and Gallo too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like Gallo being traded to the Yankees, because he's gonna strike out a lot. I mean, he has shown that in the postseason.
Well, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of postseason, we have, I was hoping we would have done a World Series, but of course my schedule did not allow it, and that's perfectly fine. But nonetheless, how about them Braves?
Yeah, they did it. They did it. I had to applaud them because they are so. I never thought they would actually win the World Series. Actually, like the last time they won the series was in '95 against the Indians, and they actually shocked the baseball world. I mean, I'm still shocked to this day. Like 2 weeks after they won the World Series, and they won it. I mean, they did it with like pieces that nobody expected, like Jorge Soler, Jock Peterson. It's crazy.
I will be honest. I will be the first one. I know I said it on the last week or 2 weeks ago on Time to BS. I'm going to kind of see what your thoughts are. Did you not think the Houston Astros were going to come back after they came back to win game 5?
Oh yeah.
I really thought like, oh, here we go.
I even tweeted out saying 3-1 series lead. I don't think it's safe. Then you got all these like 21-3 memes and stuff like that. I mean, they choked away last year when in the NLCS with a 3-1 series lead.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Astros won game 5, I think, was it game 5 or game 4?
5.
Yeah, game 5, right? Yeah. So when they won game 5, I was like, oh my God, the choke is gonna happen again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh crap, really? Poor Atlanta. Because Atlanta hasn't been, their track record has shown that they haven't been able to close the deal.
Well, no. Mm-mm. And I really thought when the Astros won game 5, they might have won game 4, but who cares? Game 5, I really thought, you know what? This is where the Astros are going to come back and win this stupid thing. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, I mean, I don't despise them. I don't agree with what they or condone what they've done and et cetera, but I'm not doing this whole humongous, oh, we hate the Astros. I mean, whatever.
They did it last year with the ALCS with the Rays. I think they were down 3-0 and they tied up the series, forcing the game 7, and they lost. So they are capable of that.
They got a good team, and of course, one of them leads by. Of course, he was out majority of the year with some injuries. Is Justin Verlander? Of course, a lot around Verlander.
Mm-hmm.
Noah goes to the Angels. I'm hearing swirling names. Of course, it's just rumors, nothing like out there that people should panic about. But could you see like a Verlander going to the Angels? Or does he stay in Houston and just end his career in Houston?
That's actually a really tough question. Wow. I don't see him going to Anaheim, but the owner, Arnie Moreno, is going to shell out a whole bunch of money with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to shell out like probably a 2-year, $100 million deal to Verlander. And I won't be surprised if Verlander just accepts it. I mean, Verlander just is coming off Tommy John surgery. I don't think he's going to be the same pitcher he once was.
No. Mm-mm.
And he's like 37, 38, I think.
I think he's 38.
38, and I think he doesn't have that much years left. I mean, I have heard that the Yankees are interested in Verlander as well.
Ooh. Now that would be interesting with him and Cole.
I mean, Cole, yeah, that would be a very, very interesting
That would
tandem.
be
But
really interesting.
like I said, like how much does Verlander have in the tank left?
Well, exactly. And at 37, 38 years old, what's the realistic contract for him? And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, would you go, it's like Verlander, we ain't gonna fish out 140 something million on you. We're gonna do, like you said, maybe 100, maybe 250. You can go 70 at the lowest, 35 a year. I don't know what you would do realistically, but
I mean, unless you sign him to like a 1-year deal on like a $10 million contract, that would be like a bargain for the agents.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not knocking Verlander's ability, but he just came off Tommy John surgery, and who knows how his velocity is going to be, the curveball, the fastball. I mean, he's in the twilight of his career, and I think he should sign back to Houston.
I would go that route. I think he stays in Houston, probably takes a little of a decrease, if you will, but I like him. I just think he stays in Houston. I don't be a nice addition to the New York. The Yankees need to get the realistic option, start building a rotation, not just we're gonna continue to
Like if I was the Astros, I would go younger in my pitching rotation. You gotta remember that Zach Greinke is a free agent as well.
Ooh.
He's like I think he's 36 or 37, around that area. I mean, he's been pitching for a very long time though. So I think he like I would just blow it up in the rotation, like with the Astros. I mean, I like Luis Garcia. He's pretty good.
Yep.
I think he's gonna be ace of the future for the Astros. Yeah, I think Verlander should sign back with Houston, but as probably like a 4th or 5th starter, and they should let Greinke go.
I like Greinke. What's a good landing spot?
I would say either 2 teams, either the Nationals or the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, Braves.
Because let's face it, like the Braves are just Greinke wants to ring.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna go to the best possible team that could give him a ring. Either Los Angeles, the Dodgers, because they have like a limited amount of money over there.
Whoop.
And they're clearly the best team to win the World Series. Or Atlanta, the defending champions. Which I don't see Atlanta repeating, honestly.
No, I don't either. I think the NL East gets better next year, but I think it's tough. Regardless, it's tough to repeat.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of what sport it is, it's tough to repeat. I just think the NL East is going to be a little bit better. It wasn't bad last year, but they still got the team. If they can keep everybody intact, I mean, they can still get the team to play. Be interesting with Zach Greinke, though.
Yeah, Greg. I could see him in Atlanta, though. Let's talk about the Rockies, though. The Rockies, since you live in Denver, I think. You live in Denver, right?
So actually, I'm Oklahoma City, but
Oklahoma City, yeah. But you're a
uh,
Denver Broncos fan.
yes, sir. And so my buddy of mine, I'm not gonna sneeze here. A buddy of mine is a Colorado fan galore, and so I always text him, just giving him a hard time about the Rockies, and practically they're so upset with the Rockies, just front off. I mean, just literally,
It's bad management.
it's horrible management.
Bad. I mean, why would you trade Trevor Story at the trade deadline? It doesn't make no sense at all. Like,
I respect the Rockies organization. I really got nothing against them. It's just horrible management from top to bottom. I don't. I mean, where do you even go from? I don't even know where to begin with these guys.
well, for one, you could just trade Trevor Story.
Mhm.
He's like the best player they had. They could get pieces out of him.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, Story's a free agent
Mhm.
this offseason, and he's gonna fetch a high price for a team. I mean, he can still hit, but he strikes out a lot.
Well, that he does.
Yeah.
And I know Bleacher Report, I'll give them credit on here. They just came out with a little whatever notification, but I guess or alert, however you want to call it. The Yankees are pursuing Corey Seager.
Corey Seager. I mean, where you gonna put him at actually? Shortstop, third base. I mean, the most realistic position for him is third base because I don't even know who plays third base. Gio Urshela, maybe.
Does, yeah. And
So
sometimes
they're gonna send him back into the minors. I mean,
sometimes DJ.
yeah, DJ plays first, second. He plays all around the infield.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the outfield as well. But Corey Seager, I think
I don't see him at shortstop though.
Nah. So you will have to move Torres somewhere else, either the third or he stays in the shortstop position. Because second base is already locked down with DJ LeMahieu.
Right.
I just don't see the logic in signing Corey Seager though. Maybe for third, or you could just move Torres to third base. I have no idea what they're doing.
Brian Cashman, I know one thing, he's getting a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Colorado. No, they like you said, they have an opportunity. I know the Yankees were supposed. I don't know what was true and what was not, and that's fine. The Yankees, at one point, I guess they were interested. I don't know if the asking price was too high. I don't know what they were wanting to give up. I don't know, but Trevor Story, your best player. I mean, if you realize deep inside down of you that you can't get this guy signed, at least try to get pieces for him.
Exactly.
Let him walk.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, look what happened last year with Northern Arenado.
Yep.
He got traded to the Cardinals for basically $50 million, and they're still paying his contract.
Yep.
They basically paid the Cardinals to get rid of Arenado. That's crazy. They didn't get any pieces in return.
Well, no, and I don't know what is Jonathan Gray. Is he more injury prone than he's been in the rotation? Seems like
Jonathan Gray. He's a really good pitcher, but he gets hurt a lot.
That's what I thought.
He gets hurt a lot, and I think he's a free agent this year as well.
Yeah, because I think someone mentioned it to me. I've seen him play it in college. Because someone said, would he be a good? I don't know who it was. Someone said would be a good fit in New York. I said no, not at all.
Nah.
One is injury prone for one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, where would he go? I don't know. Probably a team that needs pitching.
Well, at least the Yankees got rid of Andrew Heaney. Yeah, he's with the Los Angeles Dodgers for some reason.
Nice.
After the year that he had with the Yankees, a lot of New Yorkers wanted him gone. Like, seriously, they wanted him gone, including me. Giving up all these home runs.
I do like for the Rockies, Germán Marquez. I do like him.
Mm-hmm. He is good guy. Good guy.
That's about the only player I think that they got really that's going to be able to do anything.
So where do you think Javier Baez is gonna sign?
Parts of me. What about Seattle?
Seattle is actually an up and coming team, man.
Mm-hmm.
They actually missed out the playoffs by a game, and
Yeah,
they actually did really well last year.
they're a young team that's growing. That they just need another player or two that can take them over that hump.
I just feel like they need pitching. Like they need like an ace pitcher.
Yeah, they do.
I think for Baez, I think he signs back with the Mets. I mean, he wants to play with Lindor for a full season. So,
well, I think that would work.
what about Chris Bryant?
Oh, I've seen so many places for him to land.
Yeah, I have one place, but it's unexpected.
Who, Philly?
No, it's one place you would never expect.
Minnesota.
No, Minnesota is rebuilding right now, so I don't think he's gonna go there.
No, I've been taking it all night.
I think the Rays are gonna sign him.
Ooh.
I think he'll be a good DH for third baseman there. I think they're gonna sign him for 1 year, and then that offense is gonna take off when he signs.
Well, this Rays team, they're gonna win it. They're gonna eventually win this whole thing.
Yeah, they're gonna win the World Series. It's just a matter of time. Just Boston got they were a better team, the ALDS.
I like the Rays.
And yeah, I love the Rays. The Rays actually a good team.
Literally, they literally grow from their farm system.
Yeah, and they get better every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Randy Arozarena won Rookie of the Year. What's his name? Wander?
Yeah, it's
Wander Franco. He won. He actually had a good season. And yeah, I could see like Chris Bryant signing with the Rays.
Oh, yeah, I've heard Philly being mentioned. The Rays wouldn't be a bad choice with the veteran experience from Bryant, with that young team of the Rays. That would be just perfect.
The only thing the Rays need is they need one ace. They had one, but they traded him away last season. They need Blake Snell. I mean,
I'll have to keep that one on. So if Chris Bryant, I'll have to make a clip just for that. If Chris Bryant goes to the Rays, I'm giving you all the credit, Kenny.
Awesome, man.
Like said it first, November 16th, 2021. Kenny, the sports guy, has proclaimed Chris Bryant to the.
It could happen.
It very well could happen. Absolutely. Like I said, I think the Rays they're just like Seattle. I like their youth. I really like the Rays youth more than Seattle's. But that Rays, I'm telling, they're gonna win it. They're gonna win it within the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. No, I won't be surprised if they win it next year.
Yeah, they're gonna win it within the next 2 to 3 years, and I'm excited. I know it's winter meetings or right around the corner, but spring training is what, February? Start spring training.
Yeah.
March.
I'm actually gonna try to go to like a few spring training games in Arizona in February. I'm trying to go.
Nice.
I'm gonna cover them.
Head back out there again. But AEW, I'm able to watch this week's shows, but I do know that we have a new world champion.
Yep, Hangman Page.
Adam Page, a new AEW world champion. What's your thoughts on that? And I'm going to let you kind of speak real quick on your video. I know a lot of people that do watch it on Twitter are probably just like me, and you get the old wrestling fans, me for example, you want to see competition, but now you're bashing the other company or
Yeah, exactly.
so tell the listeners your thoughts on this wrestling in case they don't know what in the world we're talking about.
So I just feel I just feel like AEW and WWE, they're competitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every time I log on Twitter, there's always a constant bickering between AEW fans and WWE fans to see who's better. Honestly, I really don't care because now we have options.
Yeah.
You got to remember, like 20 years ago, that was the last time we had like some sort of option for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So WCW, as you already know, WCW was bought out by WWE. So I got tired of it because wrestling fans should be grateful that we have two options now to watch, like AEW and WWE. I mean, both products honestly are better in their own right. I mean, WWE has its production values, but AEW has pure wrestling, and I feel like AEW has the best roster right now in the wrestling industry because they have so many options to choose from, like Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, who I met on Sunday, by the way.
I'll
He's
get
actually,
that on that one.
Him, Britt Baker. There's like a parade of AEW stars like that has finally has a chance to shine. And I just feel like WWE fans and AEW fans should not be complaining because you can't please the masses, but you gotta be like, hey, we have options now. Like, who cares about the comparisons? I mean, just stop with it.
Excuse me. Oh, absolutely. I mean, again, like, and you nailed it. 20 years ago we had WCW, and we had WWF at the time, which is now WWE. In case nobody out there knows anything about the history of it, but so you have, and of course, if you really want to get old school, you had ECW and you had WCW and you had WWF. ACW was the real extreme hardcore stuff right there. But jokes aside, and like you said, now we got competition, we got other options. You're looking at AEW, brand new brand. I know TNA still Impact now, I guess, but they're still around. Ring of Honor is still around, but in my opinion, I don't see much of Impact on TV. Ring of Honor here and there.
Ring of Honor is going into hiatus. Actually, they released all the wrestlers.
Wow.
Yeah, this happened like a week ago, I think. A couple of months ago, a couple of weeks, I think. So all the wrestlers are now free agents. They can sign anywhere.
Ooh. Yeah, I missed that one. Well, again, I didn't really follow that, but that's interesting because just because I wasn't into Ring of Honor, but I mean, you flipped it, it's wrestling. Like, okay, cool. But no, going back to AEW is they got. I mean, let's be honest, they're catching WWE on ratings.
Yeah, they are.
And
but WWE fans don't want to hear about that.
Exactly. And so we'll see. Of course, kind of mixture of WWE and WCW and AEW. Of course, I'm not for sure if you heard or read the rumors or what have you, but Mr. Jim Ross, from what I read, is stepping aside. I guess his health is getting bad.
Yeah, that's so sad. That's so very sad.
It is, and my prayers and thoughts goes out to him, and during whatever, I don't know if he announced it, but it's not my business regardless. But hopefully he can recover or get better, and wish him well. He's no kid. I mean, I remember him.
So he actually did announce it. He has a form of skin cancer. So he announced it like a couple of weeks ago, and honestly, I wish him nothing but the best. And if he has to resign for the position, just resign. Just take care of your health.
Absolutely.
Your health comes first.
Yep.
I mean, I'll miss him, but health is very, very important.
Well, absolutely, and it'll be it'll definitely be different not hearing him. But now you got what, Mike Tenay and
Well, he still got Tony Schiavone though.
Well, yeah, Tony's he
could call a show on his own, actually.
Now we could see more Chris Jericho in the booth.
I like Chris Jericho as an announcer. I think he brings a lot of energy to it. The only thing I don't like from the announcing team, honestly, is Excalibur. I
Yeah.
feel like he takes control of the matches often. I mean, instead of letting Jim Ross or Tony Schiavone take over, he's usually the one that calls the matches, and Schiavone and Ross are just a little quiet.
I think they're kind of not so much intimidated, but I think they're kind of like it's one of those people. I don't want to be rude, but I want to do my job and so on and so forth. But
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Excalibur is actually really good, but you got two legends like right next to you. You should let them take over.
hey, you gotta learn from the best. But
Yeah.
speaking of the best, as you mentioned, you met Kenny Omega. How was that?
Yeah. He's like one of the most humble person I have ever met.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's very, very nice. Like you could tell that he's actually been raised he lived in Japan for 10 years because in Japanese culture they shake with two hands. So I shook his hand, greeted him, and he shook me with two hands. So that was actually really, really respectful. And he literally met everybody. Like he was there until like way past closing until he met every single person that wanted to meet him. He even told me that he didn't want to disappoint anybody, so he stayed the entire time.
Wow.
Yeah, and the fact that he flew from midnight in Minnesota the previous night for Full Gear and arriving at 5 a.m. just to meet people, it just tells a lot about him. Yeah, him and Danielson actually arrived at LaGuardia here at 5 a.m. On Sunday morning, and it was just wow, ridiculous. But they do anything to meet their fans. But with Kenny Omega, I think he's gonna take a break though.
Well, that's a bummer. Now, why? Is it more personal for him to, or is it?
Okay, so he has right now he has a shoulder injury.
Gotcha.
He fought with a shoulder injury while fighting Hangman Page, but he kept that injury a secret like during all his matches, and he recently admitted that he had vertigo. He has a severe case of vertigo, so and you got to remember that he actually wrestled. He haven't taken a day off in 3 years in AEW. So he's like constantly traveling. He's constantly wrestling. So it takes a toll on the human body.
Oh, absolutely. Well, absolutely.
Mentally and physically. Like even like when I saw him walking, like I saw him walking past us. He seems like he was limping a little bit, and I thought to myself, yeah, this man needs like a long vacation or something. Like his body is like a little bit hurt right now.
That's a rough sport, and regardless if people think it's real, fake, well, I mean, I don't really care what people think. It's just that's just a rough sport.
Yeah, it is. Wrestling is not fake. It's real.
Oh, no, exactly. Going through tables, getting hit with barbed wire, getting if you're Mick Foley or Cactus Jack, getting power bombed and power slammed into thumbtacks and hell in the. I mean, literally the list goes just on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I'm sure that these guys, and unfortunately, that's what leads to a lot of these guys overdosing, whether it's accidental, et cetera, and unfortunately passing away because the pain of it's just so severe. They need that numbing, if you will.
Yeah, so like, it's not like this generation. This generation doesn't go out and party, do drugs, drink. They just stay home, play video games, which is really awesome. Because they probably saw that and just say, "Hey, we gotta take care of our bodies. We don't want to die young."
Exactly.
It's just that's actually smart for these wrestlers to do now because they want to live longer. You gotta take care of your body. Like you can't use any drugs, alcohol, any other substances, and that's actually pretty smart.
And it's. I mean, I couldn't obviously wasn't maybe for my cards. I don't know if I even would even remotely be able to um be a wrestler, but I can just only imagine just the night in, night out pain of what literally ending the show. Now you're flying to, let's say, if you're leaving New York City, you're flying out to Boston, and from Boston, Minneapolis to it
It's a
doesn't matter.
long process.
Yeah, exactly.
But AEW doesn't have that luxury right now.
No, mm-mm.
If you work at WWE, you travel over 320 days a year
Yep.
before the pandemic. And that actually takes a toll on your body, mentally and physically. And it's that's why you see all these wrestlers of the past dying at a young age, because they need to cope with the pain of traveling constantly, being in pain constantly. It's sad. It really, really is sad.
It is, and it's a lot of these wrestlers are young. I remember, Test and I get Owen Hart was a free. That wasn't even that was
that was a freak accident. That didn't need to happen.
No, exactly. And I think British Bulldog was another some sort of that. But long story short, it's sad. I'm not saying that any of these players anytime soon are going to die, but it's real. I'm sure some of the stuff, it's padding to an extent, but I can just imagine being thrown to a table or off a 20-something foot ladder or hell in the cell. I mean, Mick Foley and even Shane McMahon, doing his little the Catholic cross before he's flying down to the that's insane. But
that's another guy he needs to take it easy as well, because he jumped on the cage so many times in his career. Crazy guy.
And I think he even jumped off. I can't remember who he was fighting. I can't think of the top of my head. Anyway, I think he had one even did off this in part of the at the time what they called Titantron. I don't remember who he was, but
so it was SummerSlam.
Yes,
it was SummerSlam. I think 2002. He was I think somewhere in the 2000s. It was by a feller by the name of Steve Blackman.
That's right.
Yeah, the Lethal Assassin. I remember. I actually have the images in my head right now. How that happened.
I wanted to say Steve Blackman, but I'm like, I don't know if that was right or not.
Yeah, so he got hit in the back with a candlestick and he fell 20 feet.
That's right.
Yeah, that was a crazy. I don't know how his back is holding up, honestly.
Power to him. I mean, in other news, no, from wrestling over to a sport that still he gets battered around, but you don't get punished that much as football, of course. First things first, Kenny, Odell Beckham Jr. Well, first things first, Von Miller gets traded from Denver to the Los Angeles Rams for a second and third round pick of next year's draft. And then followed by that, Odell Beckham Jr. signed with the Rams. I don't even know what the contract even was, but nonetheless, Beckham Jr. is a Ram. And then their first outing on the field, and the 49ers absolutely terrorizes the Rams to remain somewhat at least in the playoff race. Go into 4-5 now, I believe is what
4-5
record is. So the Rams drop a heartbreak, well, not really heartbreaker, but a one that they probably should have on paper.
Easily be, yeah.
Your thoughts first off on the Rams moves with Vaughn, Odell, and then the disarray of Monday Night Football.
Well, for Von Miller, I think he's gonna boost up the defense even more, even though last night didn't show it. I think he brings a lot of leadership to the team. I think he's gonna help out that defense tremendously. As for Odell Beckham Jr., it's tough because he has been known to be in a cancer in the locker room. And that is something the Rams do not need right now because they're a Super Bowl contender. I don't know what to say about Odell. I mean, it's a good signing on paper, but when you get to the locker room or on the field, he might either be the best player on the team or absolutely the worst player on the team. With his like being friends with teammates, being a diva. And I'm not really sure about him. I mean, he's gonna have his moments with the Rams, but for me, it's all about how the locker room with him really is. As for the game last night, I think it was just only one game. I think the Rams haven't had a bad game all season other than the Titans game. And they'll get it together by next month. I mean next week, sorry.
You're good. They'll eventually get together one way or another.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly.
No, it was interesting, of course, Von Miller, I know he was emotional on his exiting out of the facility, training camp facility, practice facility, and in Inglewood. And of course, and a lot of Bronco fans, I love sometimes I'll just scroll through Twitter just because I like seeing people's reactions. And they were so pissed off from, well, Vaughn this and why isn't it Drew Lock? Why isn't it Teddy Bridgewater? Why isn't Vic Fangio, Pat Shermer fired? I don't know. I don't make those calls. But nonetheless, it was a tough one, but at the same time, it made sense. I mean, Denver's in no position to win a Super Bowl by any means.
You see that game against the Cowboys, though?
And that's what I was going to get to. Yeah. That lit a fire under that defense. I think all three phases really played phenomenal against Dallas. They shut down, they ran, I forgot how many yards up against Dallas, who was the number one pass against the rush team in the league. That was phenomenal. They just took Dak Prescott, contained him, shut down majority of this game against CD and Cooper. Zeke wasn't much of a threat. Never hardly not like he's hardly ever is. But and of course last week then later horrendous.
Yeah, I don't know what was that this past week.
That was wow, that was bad.
The bad Denver Broncos are back.
And that's what's sad is the fact that I think that's what frustrates me. A lot of Bronco people, they want Vic Fangio. Okay, I'm not at this point. Doesn't even matter.
You guys just need a quarterback. That's what it is. I mean, the run game. The running game is good. You guys good. You guys got decent wide receivers. I really like your tight end Nick Fant. Yep. He's really good. Your defense is just top notch. But I think when it comes to it, I think you guys need a quarterback and you guys need a new head coach.
And that's the big thing is we have Vic Fangio and then Vance Joseph, back-to-back defensive mind coordinators. I don't know what the issue is with Denver besides a quarterback. A lot of people I don't know who it was I was listening to, but they thought maybe Teddy Bridgewater he's not passionate about football enough. Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
I think he's probably a game manager, to be honest.
That's exactly what I think. And again, it's like this, our offensive line is starting to get injury prone. We're starting to get injuries. Glasgow's out the rest of the year. Bowles is starting to be the Bowles that we've seen early in this, a few years ago, and so on and so forth. But the team's still surprisingly in the playoff race. They're off this week, but the tough schedule is now coming up. You still got the Chiefs both times. You still got the Chargers and the Raiders again, and the team can win. I don't think. Come on, guys. I don't think. Okay, we're done with this. Sorry, guys, if you guys can hear me.
You seem like very frustrated with the Broncos.
Come on, guys. You guys know I'm on that podcast here. So anyway, I like Denver. I like the chances. They're still a great team defensively. Made some changes, so it's going to be interesting how the season plays out. We're at the bye week this week, good enough to get some guys healthy, or at least somewhat healthy, figure out this quarterback position. Is it time to put Drew Lock in? I think now you're still in the race for a playoff. I would probably hold off on that. However, here we go again. If you want to get any trade value out of Drew, you're going to have to give people some film to look at and say, is he someone that I don't know who'd be good? Atlanta. I'm just picking a team out. Is Atlanta like, is this guy good enough for us to invest in? Obviously, he's not a first rounder to give up. He's not a probably second. He's more of a probably third, fourth, fifth round draft pick, probably give up. But nonetheless, I like Denver still. Their quarterback is their biggest issue. That inconsistency at quarterback play is just killing them at the end of the day.
So who do you think was the best quarterback after Peyton Manning?
Oh my God.
I was gonna say John Elway, but Peyton Manning was in the middle. So
So we're talking post Manning.
yeah, post Manning. Not post Elway.
Right, right. That would be like, it's Manning. I'm like, yeah, rightfully so. Well, they never made the playoffs. We can't even count that factor even then. Joe Flacco was a bust. Trevor, kind of hate saying this, but I would probably go with Trevor.
Trevor Siemian, yeah, he was the best quarterback that you guys have.
He won games. I mean,
yeah, he won games, but he wasn't special. Yeah, but
I mean, Trevor, Paxton, Brandon Allen, Brock was gone after Peyton. Nobody took Case Keenum. Kendall Hinton, poor guy. I should have said Kendall Hinton just to give him credit for.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened there last year. They just put him in the QB position because they didn't sign a quarterback before the game.
We had no.
Yeah, no quarterback
roster. Poor guy. I should have just said him just to give him some credit. Drew showed us flashes, but we don't know. We still don't know what kind of quarterback he is. Bridgewater, whatever.
I mean, I would say Bridgewater, honestly.
It'd be Teddy or Trevor. I would say.
But if I had to choose, I would choose Trevor Siemian.
That would be mine, just because, I mean, he won games. It wasn't pretty by any means, but he won.
He's playing in New Orleans right now. He's the starting QB.
He's getting his second chance here.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Taysom Hill is gonna succeed him eventually, but
absolutely,
yeah. When he gets back for injury.
Speaking of quarterback, Cam Newton Kenny is back in Carolina. I don't know if you watched his after the game interview as he was walking off the field, but he was really more of a humble Cam Newton than we probably see.
Yeah, he changed.
Hopefully,
for the best or the worst.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's one of those things where his agent or the team owners like, dude, just be humble, stay calm, and just shut up, or he might have physically changed. But nonetheless, he played phenomenal Sunday and against a really good Arizona defense and took him apart.
Yeah, he really didn't do much, honestly, but he made an impact. He was 3 for 8 with 8 yards and 1 throwing touchdown and 1 rushing touchdown, and that's all you need. But the question is, will Cam be the starter?
I think once Sam comes back healthy, I think that's going to be the end of Cam.
I don't know about Sam Darnold, honestly. I think his career is over.
I think it was over before he even started.
I mean, the New York Jets, man, they have a habit of ruining QBs. And Darnold is not bad. He just needs some, refining in his throwing abilities. Like, he got to stop seeing ghosts. I feel like with Sam Darnold, that he could have potential to be one of the best QBs in the league, but I feel like he's choosing not to. He makes a lot of mistakes. He gets injured. I mean, even in his time with the Jets, he has shown flashes that he could be something in this league. But unfortunately, like, I don't know, it's probably either a mental thing or he gets hurt. I don't know what it is with him.
It's interesting. Sam, I don't, again, another USC kid that fails. But I don't know what the right system is for him. I don't know who the right team is. We look at that. Speaking of a new quarterback, and he's not USC, but he does play in a team that's new, so to speak. Not new, but you get the drift. New England, Mac Jones. What did you think that play against Jacksonville? And I just saw, I didn't see the game. I just saw people's angles of that fumble. The lineman's on top. He's grabbing the ankle. Supposedly he's twisting it. From the one angle I saw, I could tell he was twisting it because of the fact that the player was kind of falling where the twisting was. But nonetheless, I don't know if you saw it, Kenny, or not. One guy called me out saying it wasn't dirty. That I need to know, check my glass. I'm like, dude, whatever. But nonetheless, wasn't going to argue with him. But nonetheless, well, first off, what do you think about Mac Jones in New England? Is he the long-term guy? And for now, what we do see, but more importantly, was that play dirty?
As for Mac Jones, I'm not really surprised because he's under Belichick's system, and Belichick is he knows his Q. He's been in the NFL for so long that he knows who's a QB or not, and I think Mac Jones is going to win Rookie of the Year. I think he's a pick. He's clearly the best quarterback right now. I mean, Justin Fields isn't really doing anything. Zach Wilson is hurt. Yep. Who else? Trevor Lawrence, he has a bum ankle, and he's being destroyed down in Jacksonville. But Mac Jones, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Either him or Jamar Chase.
Jamar can play.
So sorry, what was the other question?
Oh, is Mac do we think that New England found their guy in the franchise quarterback?
Yeah, I did. And for the dirty play, I think it was dirty. I mean, clearly, you see the guy physically abusing him, but it was a dirty play. This was a game against the Browns, right? Not the Jacksonville.
So I can't remember if it was the Browns or Jacksonville.
No, it was the Browns because they beat them 45-7.
Okay. See, parts of me thought it was Jacksonville real quick.
Yeah, it was the Browns game. Speaking of the Browns, man, I have no idea what they're like a Jekyll or Hyde of the NFL right now.
Well, you don't know what Brown team's going to come out, and I got a lot of Brown fans, and it's really entertaining on Sundays to read their tweets because at this point, they're literally cussing up a storm, whether it's, see, I told you one week, I told you Odell was the guy, was the cancer of the team. Now all of a sudden, can Baker even throw a pass? And is Baker the guy? And so on and so forth. This team is talented. I don't know. This team's so inconsistent. You don't know if it's the week that's going to maul Cincinnati or lose to this week. I mean,
they're very, how should I say this? A very complex team to read. One week they're Super Bowl contenders, the next they lose to the Jacksonville.
Yep.
I have no idea what they were about. They could have easily defeat the Patriots last week, but they chose not to. I don't think it's the coach. I think the coach is pretty good. I think right now for the Browns I don't think Baker Mayfield is taking this seriously.
You kind of have to, and I'm glad you brought that up because that was what I was kind of going with is, of course, I'm not bringing up the OU thing. It's more now he's a Cleveland Brown, obviously. I kind of wonder, is he even the answer? And I think Cleveland, unfortunately, either one or two things, and you look at it and say, hey, I think Baker's free agent next year, maybe.
Yeah.
And so now you got to really start considering because now all your rookie contracts are going to start showing back up on your front desk or your desk. And now the question is Baker the guy that Cleveland needs in Denver? Jesus, needs in Cleveland, or should they start looking elsewhere?
Well, I think with him, he is the guy in Denver. I got Cleveland. But I would give him one more year, like to prove himself. If not, I think it's time for Cleveland to move on.
I like Baker. I still wish Denver had that for now. It's gonna be interesting. I like Nick Chubb. I like the Kareem Hunt duo right there. They got talent. Now you got to start wondering: is it Baker? And at this point, unfortunately, we may have to add another quarterback to the long list of quarterbacks since '99. Of course, Denver's not too far behind them, kind of getting that own list as themselves. But nonetheless, I think Cleveland. They really need to find their identity, and they need to deep inside and see if they guys want to win or what they want to do. Speaking of winning, the Green Bay Packers completely shut down Seattle, and Russell Wilson returned. Not much spectacular, nothing really to brag about from Russ's standpoint, but the Aaron Rodgers situation. I'm not going to speak on COVID. That whole
yeah.
People, the listener out there, if you go all the way back to the Armor podcast, you're going to find out what I think. But nonetheless, besides that, and I'll bring that up, but is Aaron Rodgers at this point trying to be a distraction to the Green Bay Packers? Or what is he really legit what we think is trying to do? Because it just seems like now he's always in the news in Green Bay.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. I think he knows he's leaving next year, so he's trying to, how should I say this, scorch the earth. And with this, I think, I don't know what to read about this. Like, I'm not knocking his beliefs and all, but
right, exactly.
That's his opinion and you got to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, he's becoming a distraction for the team. That's how I feel. I mean, he's like, I don't know what he is. Like, he wants to be like, famous, but he doesn't want to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what my suggestion with Aaron Rodgers, you should just, just play football, just keep your mouth, shut on other opinions,
Hey, I'm with you. And again, I don't care if he believes in the vaccination. If he doesn't believe, I don't. Like I told somebody a while back or on Sunday was, hey, if you're for the shot, power to you. If you're against the shot, power to you. It doesn't affect me one way or another. But nonetheless, it's gonna be interesting. I still think Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers days are starting to get numbered. And Pete Carroll, a buddy of mine, wanted me to ask you this. And he wants to kind of get your take on Seattle's situation, but more importantly, Pete Carroll. Is Pete Carroll's days in Seattle starting to get numbered? Because he's mentioned I believe, two playoff wins since their last Super Bowl appearance.
That's actually a really good question. I think Pete Carroll, I think he needs to go. I think he has, I mean, obviously the defense has not been the same since the Legion of Boom. But he has Russell Wilson, a perennial MVP candidate every year. He has DJ Metcalf, and which he's like one of the best wide receivers in the league. Yet you can't really do anything with them. Like, I feel like, Pete Carroll has done his time in Seattle. But for me, I think it's time for him to go. They need to move into another direction. And there has been talks that Russell Wilson might get traded next offseason. I think, it's time for Seattle to, blow it up.
Yep.
They're not going to make the playoffs this year. I think the Rams is going to be like the king of the NFC West for years to come. Then you got Arizona, who is leading the NFC West. And they became really good all of a sudden. But the thing with Arizona is, are they a one-year wonder? Yeah. I mean, they're like the Jekyll and Hyde of football. I mean, they're good one year, and then the next year, they're not good. But with going back to Pete Carroll, I think the Seahawks should really consider firing him.
You're probably gonna make his day. I'm sure. I'll tell him like, hey, if you got your answer, it's listen to it. You gotta listen to the whole show. You can't skip ahead. Nonetheless, jokes aside, no. I'm sure I know he'll definitely agree with you. And if he was on here, he's doing a recording right now, but if he's on here, his name's Dan, Time to BS podcast host. Who would you think would be a perfect replacement, if you will, of Pete Carroll as the next head coach of the Seattle Seahawks?
Ooh, wow. One name that comes to mind is I forgot his first name, but Bettany from Kansas City.
Oh, Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy, him. I think he would be the perfect fit in Seattle.
Oh. Ooh. I'm gonna have to tell him now. You gotta listen now. I may have to. All three of us are gonna have to get on here now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm curious myself. Speaking of coaches, kind of start to wind down. We see a lot of college coaches, maybe not so much like we used to. Steve Spurrier, Nick Saban tried it. Yeah, whatever. Will we see another college coach? Let's say a Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. I don't know if Dabo Sweeney at Clemson would. Obviously, Nick Saban's not going to go back up there, but could we see these younger, maybe a Luke Fickell at Cincinnati or type of guys in these college programs, even though they're making pretty good money? Do we think we're going to see these kind of guys up here, or these college coaches kind of stay put?
A couple of things. That was Sweeney. He's not leaving Clemson. He's gonna stay there forever. He's not. He's not going to the NFL. And Nick Saban, he's not going. But the thing with Saban is, I think he's starting to get a little bit bored by college football because he won so many championships. I mean, yeah, he coached the Dolphins, I think, in 04 and 05, I think, 06. Somewhere around the 2000s.
That'd be about right, yeah.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, it's just my opinion, but I think Saban's a little bit bored with college football. But to me, I don't think he should go to the NFL. And I feel like if he does, it's going to be another Urban Meyer situation.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I forgot Urban. Yeah, Urban. Yeah. I could see going back.
I mean, if Saban were to choose an NFL team to coach right now, I mean, I would say the Jets, but Robert Saleh, I think he's a good coach. But right now, maybe if you were to fire Saleh and hire Saban, the Jets will be a winning team.
Ooh.
Or I could see Saban coaching the Giants. Who else? Maybe Jacksonville, but I don't think Jacksonville is going to go to that college route again.
Oh no.
Yeah, after Urban Meyer. And who else? Maybe the Raiders.
Ooh.
I mean, the Raiders had like the worst season like in a team could ever have right now because of all the scandals, all the drama.
But their 2020 draft is non-existent.
Yeah, they're no more.
Yeah.
The only one that's left is like their third round pick, and he's on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know what to think about the Raiders right now, but anyway, back to Saban. I think Saban would be a perfect pick for the Raiders as well. Again, he's no nonsense.
Ooh, could you imagine seeing him in the silver and black?
I mean, I can imagine him doing it, but I don't. Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna join the NFL ranks. I think that's my opinion. I think he's bored with college football right now because all the championships he won.
He could easily win another one this year at Alabama.
Yeah.
College football is wide open, of course. The rankings came out. I don't know how much you follow it, but top 1 through 7 stay the same, which we all expected. I think a little shuffle from 8 to 13, and then after that, if you're below 13, you probably have no chance. But no, I think Saban's in a good spot. I mean, obviously he's winning at, like you said, he's obviously winning at Alabama, making a lot of money, and he's got a lot of rings.
Well, let's see what happens with Saban and Pete Carroll. I think one of them is going to be gone though.
I could see Pete. I can definitely see Pete. Last question and last topic on the show is Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people counted him out when the Chiefs are losing, but he lit up the Raiders on Sunday night, and I liked your video, and I'm totally with you, even though unfortunately I don't like the Chiefs, but I do like Patrick Mahomes nonetheless. I respect him because they do win. Nonetheless, why can't people just relax and let this kid play?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of months. A couple of weeks ago, everyone thought he was washed up, and I got criticized on that on Twitter when I mentioned it this week, saying, "So you think Patrick Mahomes is washed up now, right?" He's not washed up. I think how old is he? Like 25, 26?
He's mid-20s, yo.
Yeah, he still got a long way to go in his NFL career. The only thing that's bad about the Chiefs is the defense. The defense is terrible. And the offense is going to fix itself eventually.
Well, and people need to relax. People need to relax, just simply. It's just like, like Alabama, for example. I'm just throwing them out there because they're about the only college football team that wins a lot. It's okay if you have a loss, 2, 3, 4 losses, but these Kansas City fans are just freaking out. Even non-Kansas City fans, oh, see, Mahomes, I told you he was a fraud, so on and so forth. Did the Tampa Bay Bucks expose some of their weakness last year in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Absolutely, they did. Some of that tape and then some to counteract on what they did. Is Kansas City going to sit here and be they play 17 games now, 6-11, 7-10, 8-9 team? No, but just like any other regular NFL team that has their ups and downs, they're going to lose games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be ugly. But at the end of the day, Kansas City still Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes still one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Agreed. I think he's going to get it together, and I won't be surprised if they win the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely not. No. Well, Kenny, it's been fun, my man.
Yeah, this has been awesome. I really liked it.
Definitely, I'm going to get Dan, the host of the Time to BS podcast. I think, I'm not for sure if you got a chance to talk with him yet or not, but...
No, not yet. I think I follow him on Twitter and Instagram, though.
Definitely.
I'll contact him.
Definitely get on his show, and then as well as us three amigos getting on one, because I would love to see your guys' discussion with Seattle.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there might be curse words involved, but
hey, nonetheless, I don't even care. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny, the host of Kenny Sports. Oh God, Kenny, let them know where they can find you, and I'll get all the descriptions in the info booth.
You can find me on Twitter at Kenny_sports, on Instagram at Kenny Sports Guy, and also I recently launched a YouTube channel. You can find me there. Just search Kenny the Sports Guys podcast, and you're there. And my website is www.kenthesportsguy.com. Ken with 2 1s.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny, as always, it's been fun. Love talking with you and getting your insight on all things sports.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate the invite.
Absolutely. You guys, it's going to be a fun one. Stay tuned tomorrow, which will be, this episode will be dropping tonight. The other ones, if you're listening to it whenever, just listen to the next episode. Got 2 of them on tomorrow. Stephanie dropping, the host of the Luxury Drop Out podcast, and then
I'm looking forward to that. I'm sorry about that.
I think a lot of people are, trust me.
Sorry about that.
will be on 7 o'clock. The founder of Set the Expectation. That will be a touchy subject, but a one that needs to be addressed. And so discretion is advised. But nonetheless, Stephanie Joplin, you're up next. 6 o'clock Central. Yeah, trust me, Kenny. A lot of people are looking forward to Stephanie being on.
I gotta discuss how you got that interview though, off camera.
Dude,
let me finish. Let me let you finish your thing, your ending.
It was guys, you can listen to the Air Raid Attack podcast. Have a wonderful time. Take care and stay safe out there.